بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه والاه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. And my name is Abu Productive from productivemuslim.com, and I'm very pleased to share with you this special message for all of you at Dar es Salaam Youth Conference. Today's topic is about bad habits and how they are a productivity killer. I want to start off firstly by defining what is a habit. There's a famous quote that says that us human beings, we are creatures of habits. What that means is that we normally tend to get ourselves into habits. So habits is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just whether the habit itself is good or bad. That's what makes a difference. So today, I want to really concentrate on bad habits and how we can fight, inshallah. So how do habits form in the first place? Habits is almost a subconscious exercise. It takes time to, it's almost like you don't feel it, but after a while you realize, oh my God, this has actually become a habit of mine. For example, let's say you had a habit of waking up early, or a habit of sleeping late, or a habit that every time you come back home you have to have a certain maybe cup of tea or something. You almost get into that routine without even feeling, it's almost like effortless from your part. And normally bad habits form extremely quickly compared to good habits. Good habits might take a bit of effort, but bad habits almost happen effortlessly. Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah be pleased with, may Allah have mercy on him, he's a very famous scholar. He said that, everything starts with a thought, and then it becomes an idea, and then it becomes words, and then it becomes action, and then it forms into a habit. And you've heard this saying in many different by different people also around the world. So really, habits is something that you might seem you cannot control at first, but actually you can control, because you can train your mind to actually get into good habits and train your mind to get away from bad habits, inshallah. So I want to also concentrate on the cost of bad habits. And when I say bad habits, what do I mean? It does not mean we're speaking about any bad habit. We all have bad habits, from for example, let's say staying up late every day, to watching porn, to doing extremely bad stuff. So I'm saying the whole range of bad habits, from the very trivial to the top, extremely bad stuff, and trying to now to think about what is the cost of these bad habits. Number one, time. When you get yourself into a bad habit, you're wasting time, and time is life. Time is you. Time is, think about this, for example, imagine today, this is me talking, right? Tomorrow, I would have lost this day, I would have lost this moment, and I'll never be the same again. And this moment will never come back to me again. Every day you get closer and closer to your death, and every day you lose time. So if you spend that time that you have on bad habits, then you've lost it all. So really it's about realizing the cost of bad habits is that it's costing you time which you preciously need to work towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, bad habits normally cost money. Think about smoking. Smoking costs money. Or drugs cost money. Or anything that is not permissible, normally they cost money. And this is another cost of bad habits. Now, more importantly as well, is that bad habits inhibit your personal development. What does that mean? For example, let's say you sleep late every night, all right? When you sleep late every night, that means you do not wake up early enough. If you do not wake up early enough, you're not making the most of those blessed early hours in the morning. Prophet Muhammad said, "Oh Allah, bless my ummah in its early hours." And there's a story of a man who used to send his workers to work early after Fajr, and he became extremely rich. So it's very important that when you realize, when you have a bad habit, think what you're losing out. Think of any bad habit you have right now. So let's say, for example, that you cannot stop yourself from watching bad websites. When you do that, what are you wasting time on? What are you sort of stopping yourself from doing? You're stopping yourself from reading good books. You're stopping yourself from developing yourself. You are filling your mind with pictures and videos and things which then mess up your mind the whole day. So really, it's almost like putting yourself in a situation that is that it stops you from developing. So it's very, very important that you spend some time to realize the cost of bad habit on your personal development, on improving yourself, on becoming a better person. Don't let this bad habit almost become like a prison for you that you cannot escape from. Let this bad habit be something that you just throw away so you can increase yourself in terms of your personal development. And most importantly, the cost of bad habit is you lose the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does that mean? Whenever you get yourself into bad habits, especially bad habits which are actually sins, like smoking, like, messing about with people, all these things, it puts you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It pushes you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because they are sins. And unless you realize this cost that you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this bad habit, I need to leave this away, then you realize the importance of letting go of this bad habit. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to meet the king of all kings, right? You meet somebody who you love and you just cannot, wait to meet him. And they'll ask you two things. They ask you one thing. They want to meet you 5 times a day, every day. You would love that opportunity. You would make sure that you're ready for that opportunity, that you never miss that deadline appointment, that you go and see them every day. Now think about salah. We are invited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to meet him 5 times a day, and to meet the king of all kings, and to ask him and to make dua towards him. So you have this opportunity, but because of our bad habits, because we don't pray, or because we are distracted by so many other things which do not help us become productive, then we almost like we miss an appointment, we do not get close to Allah, and we feel far, far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So recapping, cost of bad habits is time, it's money, personal development, and the feeling of closeness towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, 7 steps to kick butt bad habits. And this today, inshallah, I want you all to take the note of these 7 steps, and from now on, you have no excuses for not killing those bad habits away. No matter what bad habit you have, if you follow these 7 steps, inshallah, you'll be bad habit free. And inshallah, I mean it, inshallah. So let's start off. Number 1, expose them, right? Sometimes we don't notice that we have a bad habit. Let's say, for example, sleeping late at night, or overeating, or not exercising, or playing video games all day long that you miss your salahs, or not being very rude to your parents without realizing, or not spending time with your family, or messing about with people, or watching bad stuff on the internet, or whatever bad habit you have. Sometimes because we do it so frequently, we don't realize it's a bad habit. So you need to expose them, almost like shine a light on them. Just make sure that this bad habit appears very, very blatantly in front of you. One of the very, very key tricks of shaitan is that he makes you think that your sin or your bad habit is something small. For example, we all know, for example, that being in haram relationship, having boyfriends and girlfriends is haram. Now, what does shaitan say? Oh, she's just your friend, just hanging around with them. There's nothing wrong, right? It makes you feel that, it gives you all these nice words. It almost becomes like your personal sheikh, telling you good stuff about what you're doing. So it's very important to be wary of that, and to say to yourself, you know what? This shaitan, he hasn't got my best interest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the people who are righteous, they have my best interest, because they want me to enter Jannah. So what really is this habit? Is it really good or is it really bad? So really think about every bad habit you have and shine a bright light on top of it so that it's exposed. Once you've exposed it, understand why. Understand why you are into this bad habit. What is it that makes you feel? For example, let's say you're somebody who watches TV 24/7, right? You cannot stop watching TV, and it's just messing around channel after channel after channel, whether they're good channels or bad channels. You just keep on flicking the remote control. You need to understand why you are almost addicted to TV. What is it about the TV that's really addictive? And you look into yourself and realize, you know what? Maybe because I'm stressed. Maybe because I'm trying to escape reality. Maybe because my relationship with my parents and my family isn't that good. Maybe because I'm failing at school. You know, you need to really look deep into yourself. This is a very, very strong exercise in self-reflection, where you think to yourself, why is it that I'm addicted to this? Why is it that I cannot stop doing this? Why am I so weak against this bad habit? What's stopping me? This is where you really need to sit down with yourself and almost like write down in a journal, notebook, why do you think you're addicted to this bad habit? Once you understand it, you understand the root cause, it'll be very easy to step away from this bad habit. Tip number 3, break the chain. What does it mean? Imagine habits is like, it's like chains, right? Every time you form a habit, you're extending that chain. So break the chain. Just simply stop. Go cold turkey. For a few days. Try for a month. Normally, if you spend at least a month not getting close to that bad habit, you will be fine after that, inshallah. Really break the chain. Make it like a challenge for yourself. Just like fasting in Ramadan is a challenge. You say, I'm going to fast for 30 days. Same thing. Fast from your bad habit. Stop yourself from the bad habit for 30 days and go completely cold turkey. If you are addicted to porn, watching bad websites, go cold turkey on them. If you're addicted to TV, go cold turkey on them. If you're addicted to video games, go completely cold turkey. And once you've let go of the habit for about a month, you'd realize something very powerful happens at the end. At the end of the month, you're like, I'm not interested anymore. Why? Because you've discovered that you're able to control yourself. You are stronger than your desires. You are stronger than you thought you were, and that you do not need those bad habits anymore. So break the chain. Tip number 4, change course. What does that mean? So let's say you spend a lot of time watching TV. So let's say from now I'm going to that same time I normally watch TV on, I want to spend it in playing sports, for example. Or you're someone who's addicted to video games, so at the same time I spend that time on video games, I'm going to spend it on building a website, building or developing a skill like graphic designing, building some kind of maybe hand skill you have. So change course completely. Fill the time that you normally do the bad habit with something that is that's much more interesting and that you want to do. So change course completely, and this will help you in the break the chain tip. So when you break the chain, you need to fill up something. The same time you used to do the bad thing or the bad habit, you need to fill it up with something much more energetic. Let's say you're trying to wake up early. So you need to break the chain, which means you're going to have to sleep early at around, let's say, 10 o'clock in the evening instead of 2 a.m. You sleep at 10 a.m. and maybe the first few nights you'll find it very difficult to actually sleep that early, but force yourself. But then change course means in the morning, make the morning much more exciting for you. Let's say, ask your mom to prepare the most amazing breakfast you ever love. Or let's say you ask your friends, let's go out for a hike early in the morning, or do something that you really enjoy doing. So change course. That means that you need to replace the bad habit with a good habit or with something that will make it very, very powerful. Number 5, public pledge. Now, what does this mean? Normally, especially if it's a habit that everyone has been telling you to stop, like let's quit smoking, or quit messing about, or quit watching TV. Say those people who have been telling you this for a long time, and those people really care about you. They don't hate you. They're not against you. They really, really care about you. So you need to almost thank them for making you realize that you have this bad habit. So as an appreciation towards them, make a public pledge. Say to them, I promise that for the next 30 days, I will stop doing this bad habit. And let them be the judge. And also, have almost like a punishment if you do the bad habit and a reward if you don't do the bad habit. So let's say a punishment could be punishment 30 push-ups, right? Or some might say to you that no more, you won't have access to your favorite food or something. I don't know, like think of a punishment with the family member or with a friend, so that at least they realize that they're there with you. And if you do stop, let's say your friends will treat you to an amazing meal in somewhere you really like, or maybe tickets to the games or something. So just get yourself in a public pledge, because normally we may be able to break promises for ourselves, but we find it very, very difficult to break promises with other people. So try to initiate that commitment to stopping that bad habit by having public pledge. Now, a word of caution: if your bad habit is something that is really, really bad, it's a strong sin. It is it is advisable that you should not expose yourself. You should not say, oh, by the way, every night I watch, some really bad websites. You shouldn't do that. But having said that, you need to almost hold yourself to account so that you stop yourself in this bad habit. If you're finding it really, really, really difficult to stop this bad habit, except with a public pledge, maybe speak to someone in secret, someone who you trust, a friend, and say, listen, I have got this bad habit, I need to stop it. I need you to be almost like the person who is my public pledge to never ever do this again. So take it, be sensible about this, but it's very important that you show commitment to the pledge, inshallah. Now, replace with good. Now, we mentioned before that you should change course, which means that during the fasting days and the bad habits, you need to change course completely and do something else, or to do something completely different, fill up that time. But at the same time, you should try to replace that bad habit with a good habit, something that takes a lot of your time and you actually want to do. For example, let's say instead of spending a lot of time watching TV, your good habit would be that you're going to spend the exact same amount of time memorizing Quran. Okay, so you're not just changing course, but you're also making sure that whatever you change course to is a good habit that replaces completely the bad habit that you were doing. So replace it with a good habit. Think of any good habits and activity. It doesn't have to be like a religious activity. It could be anything that you enjoy, that is good, that is beneficial, that is, that empowers you. And by the way, you could spend a lot of time doing projects, for example, online projects like productiveness.com, or something that you really, really enjoy. You can work with these online projects so that you can almost replace the bad habit, inshallah. And number 7, dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and when we say it every day, we recite this verse every day in all of our prayers, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدْ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. You alone we worship, and you alone we seek help from. And the scholars say the secret of the Quran is in this one verse. What is that? Why does that mean? Because if you think about it, we're saying we worship you, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we cannot worship Him without His help. So it's almost like a loop. Like, you really want to worship Allah, but you cannot worship Him without His help. So you need His help to worship Him. So the same thing with bad habits. We are very weak beings. And Allah said in the Quran, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, that the human being was created weak. We are very weak. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is strong. So you are weak, He's strong. So the very simple answer is, ask Him to almost give you the strength to stop this bad habit. And wallahi, if you sincerely ask Him, if you sincerely make dua to Him, say, Allah, please, I don't want to be addicted to this bad habit. Please, I want to get rid of this bad habit. Oh Allah, please replace it with a good habit. I swear by Allah, He will listen to you, and you will see that you will not even want to come close to that bad habit. Always make dua. Make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pushes you away from these bad habits, because I said to you, it's costing you time, it's costing you money, it's stopping you from developing yourself and being the great person you deserve to be, and it's stopping you getting close to Allah. But dua is the first and most important key thing. All these seven tips I share with you, this is the most important. And if you do the 7th one, all the others would come close to you, would be easy to follow, inshallah. So remember, make dua. Now, the key thing I always get asked is, okay, I've stopped for 30 days. Now I'm a bit scared of, lapsing back and getting to the bad habit again. So how do I stay focused? How do I stay away from bad habits once and for all? You need to get into almost like what I call the protection triangle. Okay, what this means is, you need, first of all, for feedback. You need to, essentially, the public pledge, the people who are around you, they give you feedback constantly. Say to you, you're getting close to bad habits, stay away from it. You need to be careful here. So you need to give that feedback. So that's almost like the outside feedback. Secondly, you need to have self-reflection. You yourself need to take yourself into account. Say, okay, why did I do this? What's the purpose of this? Why couldn't I stop myself doing this? Why did I fall into this bad habit again after I stopped for 30 days? Get in a self-reflection mode. And when you constantly self-reflect, you will eventually almost like convince yourself that you need to stay away from this bad habit. Thirdly, coaching. What does coaching mean? Now, just like many bad habits. Like for example, people, if you're addicted to alcohol or addicted to drugs, there's almost like a full coaching program that helps you to stay away from alcohol and stay away from drugs. Now, you can use that coaching program or that module on anything, on any bad habit you have. So as I said, you can have somebody who's almost becomes like your coach, and this somebody is someone you respect, someone you love, someone you really can work with, and this person will be responsible to coach you away from this bad habit and to help you stop you from bad habit. And alhamdulillah, nowadays there are many coaches, either online, offline, or people you just trust in your community. Once you have a coach, someone who almost like you're responsible, who looks after you and prepares almost like a program for you, it becomes extremely powerful. So coaching is very, very important. So 3 parts to protection triangle: feedback from all those around you. So for example, if it's positive feedback, like people saying, hey, mashallah man, you started waking up early, well done. Or your mom will say, wow, you're not spending enough time, you're not spending so much time on the video games, I'm very proud of you. So the positive feedback helps you to protect yourself. And also negative feedback, if you start slipping, they go, you're starting slipping again, be careful. So that feedback from those around you is very important. Secondly, self-reflection, self-evaluation. And thirdly, having a coach, someone who says to you, okay, I'm going to take you through this process, I'm going to work with me to help you get away from this bad habit, inshallah. So remember this protection triangle. Now, final thought, life's too short to waste on bad habits. I mean, as I said to you beginning, imagine, today will never come again, all right? And tomorrow will never be the same like today, and tomorrow I'll be older by a day, and you'll be older for a day. And to waste your time with bad habits that have no benefit at all, la dunya or akhirah, honestly, it's almost like insane. So life's too short to waste on bad habits. Think about it, really think about it. I don't want you to get from this little message that I should stop bad habits and just forget about it. I want you to really think about it. I mean, one day I was looking at a picture of my parents when they were very, very young, and I was like, oh my God, they were like my age when I saw that picture, and I can imagine the dreams, the hopes, and everything they had. And now I look at them and they're much more older, and I'm like in their shoes. And tomorrow I'll be the person who will be old, and my kids will look at my picture. So when you realize that this life just keeps going, and if I don't stop myself from this bad habit, it's like I'm almost like burning my life with my own hands. So it's very, very important to just get that thought in your mind and completely knock it out and say, completely knock out your bad habits, because it's not worth it. I hope you enjoyed this message, and I would love you to stay in touch with us. We are at productivemuslim.com. We're really, really keen to basically share messages of productivity. Our vision, our goal, our mission is to help you and help the ummah become productive, inshallah, because that's what our Islam tells us, to always be productive. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.